Hello everybody, I'm Stephanie. I'm so glad to be here with you this evening. We're going to be finding a flow tonight to bring some balance into our bodies, into our minds. And for this flow tonight, you're going to need one block, or you can also use a book or just reach over to the wall and touch that also. Join me on your mat wherever you're at, and let's get started. Tonight, as we're flowing and moving and seeking out balance, we're going to be coming into many balance postures this evening. And the goal is not so much to land and stick them. The goal is to find your edge. So if you're testing the waters and you try something a little bit different and you fall out of a posture, that's a good thing. You're seeking out to see what's going on in that moment. So instead of beating yourself up and, oh, I wasn't able to hold that posture, just finding some grace with your body and just listening to where it's at today. So beginning to breathe, just taking a few moments, coming to any kind of comfortable seated position. Big inhale through the nose, belly expands, and exhale through the nose, belly pulls into spine. Taking a few more breaths like that, in through the nose, and out through the nose. One more in, and out. On your next inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, hands come down through heart center. Inhale, arms reach up overhead, keeping the length in your spine. Exhale, hands come down through heart center, so energy stays lifted up, reaching up through the crown of your head. One more time. Inhale, arms reach up. And exhale, hands reach down through heart center. On your next inhale, arms are going to reach up overhead, and you're going to find a gentle twist. Right hand's going to come behind, left hand's going to cross, opposite knee or thigh, staying up on the back fingertips. Very gently with your exhale, letting go, feeling the twist happening very base of the spine, just noticing how this side of the body feels. Inhale, arms come back up to center. Exhale, other side, left hand comes behind, right hand crosses opposite knee or thigh. Inhale to lengthen, stay up on the back fingers, and exhale to into the twist. Just noticing how this side feels. It might feel balanced, it might not. Just taking note of how things feel. One more time, both sides. Inhale through center. Exhale, plant and twist. So as we're seeking out balance in the body, we're wanting to be very aware of how opposite or different the sides are. Inhale back to center. Exhale and twist. And not push one side to be like the other side if that's not where it's at. So we're going to be taking some postures tonight to really challenge to see if you can listen to the difference between your two sides. Inhale back to center, and exhale, palms come out in front of you, making your way to child's pose, toes touching, knees apart, reaching back towards your heels, rounding down, forehead to mat, really breathing in all of the muscles, the joints. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose. So breathe space in your body as you're. If something feels a little unbalanced, breathe enough space to allow the body to naturally move back into its balanced position. On your next inhale, making your way up to tabletop, wrists coming underneath your shoulder, knees underneath your hips, cat and cow. I'll drop the core, lift the hips, lift the crown of the head, back bend, cow. Exhale, spine towards the ceiling, press away from your mat, cat. Take your time, moving between those two shapes. Just feeling out the body. Which one feels good? One might feel a little talkative. Last set wherever you're at. And coming back to your neutral spine, Look over your right shoulder and bring your right hip up. So you're crunching your right side and lengthening your left side. Inhale back to center, other side. Look over your left shoulder, crunch your left hip up. Crunching your left side, lengthening the right. One more time, both sides. Inhale through center. Exhale, right shoulder, right hip. Inhale through center. Exhale, left shoulder, left hip. Keep your left hip up, bring your neck back to neutral, and look over your right shoulder. So now you're making a letter S with your spine. It might feel a little wonky, and that's okay. Inhale back through center, left shoulder, right hip. We're putting ourselves into all these different shapes and creating this therapeutic discomfort, learning to find balance in all different kinds of things. One more time, both sides. Inhale through center, left hip, right shoulder. Inhale through center, left shoulder, right hip. And inhale back to center, finding just a gentle bit of movement, rocking back and forth. Can you keep the balance between all four corners of your palms and all 5 fingers? So as you're rocking back, nothing's lifting, not even the top 2 corners, but keeping grounded down. A lot of balance, especially postures, is going to help if you ground down first. Then coming back to your neutral spine, pressing down into the mat, shoulder blades side to side, core pulls in, tuck your toes. With your exhale, lift your hips up and back, finding your first down dog. Find some movement, just being conscious of the way the body is moving. Are all 4 corners of both palms still down, or have they popped up? If you're feeling any tightness in the hamstrings, soften the knees. Deep bend in the knees, look up between your hands, walk your feet to the top of your mat. Standing forward fold. Exhale, reach down through your crown. Don't worry so much where the hands land, but lengthening down through the crown. Belly button pulls into spine. Inhale, halfway lift, hands slide up the legs, gaze in line with your spine, shoulders roll back. Exhale, reach back down. Belly button pulls in, inhale, reverse. And exhale, hands down center. Keep moving with your breath. Exhale to bow from the waist. You can switch side, hands can go through heart center, standing forward fold. You can soften the knees, widen your stance. Maybe the hands don't go all the way. Make it your own. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, reach back down. Deep bend in your knees, plant your hands. Take your time, step your feet back to the back of your mat. Shoulders aligning over your wrists. Exhale, knees come down. Can you keep pressing down to the mat? We're still in plank. We're just on the knees. So we've got this balanced line from the crown through the shoulders down to the hips. So nothing is lifting up higher. You've got this straight line. With your exhale, bend your elbows. How slow can you go all the way down to your belly? Nothing hits first. Inhale, drag forward, lift up, little cobra. Exhale, melt back down. Inhale, press up, tabletop. Your toes, hips up and back. Really listening to how your flow feels tonight. We're always taking these scaffold options. Deep bend in your knees, look between your hands, walk your mat again. Exhale, reach down through your crown. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, reach back down. Belly button to spine. Inhale, reverse, come up. And exhale, hands down through heart center. Keep moving. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to bow. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, back down, deep bend in your knees, plant your hands, step your feet back, top of your plank. Exhale, come back to the mat. Second option, you can bend your elbows, pause halfway down, chaturanga. You can do pull-ups or release all the way down to your belly. Inhale, drag forward, lift up. Maybe middle cobra, high cobra. Exhale, melt back down. Inhale, press up, tabletop. Curl your toes, hips up and back, down dog. Just noticing how each little bit feels, finding which one feels best in your body. You're not necessarily seeking the easiest version, but what feels best in your body. Deep bend in your knees, look between your hands, step, hop, or float your feet to the top of your mat. Exhale, reach down through your crown. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, reach back down, belly button to spine. Inhale, reverse, come. Hands down through center. Last option. Exhale, diver, hands through heart center. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, reach back down, deep bend in your knees, plant your hands, step your feet back, top of your plank. You can go back to one of those first two options on your knees or staying on your toes. You can lower halfway down, chaturanga. You can do your push-ups or lower to your belly and find your back bend, low, middle, high cobra, or flip to the tops of your feet, up dog. But you're balanced on both palms. Shoulders are not up by the ears, they're way down and back. Press back, tabletop. Curl your toes, hips up and back, down dog. So you have your three options. You can always make up something different. You can say no to movement and yes to stillness, maybe go straight to down dog or go back to child's pose. We're meeting together in down dog. Deep bend in your knees, look between your hands, make your way to the top of your mat. Exhale, reach down through your crown. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, reach back down. Belly button to spine, inhale, reverse, come up. Exhale, hands down through heart center. Transfer your weight to your right foot. We're setting up tree, coming onto the left toes. Around front here for you. So we're grounding down, very bottom of the foot. My back. Okay, so you're holding in tree. We're grounding down. Here, I'll flip that around. Is that better? Okay, so grounding down through the right foot. All four corners are balanced. Softening the right knee so you're not locking it out. Hands come to heart center. Lift up out of the knee, out of the hip, so the energy is going up and not down. Open your left knee, open your left toe. Feel balanced there first. Then test the waters. See what it feels like to lift the foot below the knee. Maybe you lift the foot above the knee. Maybe you're still. Maybe you find movement, growth. Test the waters. If anything happens to make you fall out, come back again, re-engage. Belly button to spine, soften the knee, draw the energy up. Find where it feels comfortable on this side. You can test the waters and fall out again and again and again. Just being kind with yourself. One more breath wherever you're at. Hands come back down through heart center. Left knee comes back in line with your hip and release left foot down. Take some movement through the hips if that feels good. We're coming into chair. Step your feet apart, ankles underneath the hips. Shift your weight back to your heels. Have a seat, tailbone back, tailbone down. So core is pulling in. You're not sticking the tailbone out in your chair. So you're still balanced, all four corners. The weight is just shifted back. Hands can reach out in front of you. They can reach up above. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, sit just a little bit lower. You should feel the glutes working. The core is pulling in. One more breath. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, bow from the waist. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, reach back down, deep bend in your knees, plant your hands, step your feet back, top of your plank, knees or toes. You decide what you're doing. You can mix it up every single time and do something different. We're all meeting together in down dog. Lift your right leg, three-legged dog, noticing what's going on in the hips. So you're feeling the balance. Right hip is in line with left, so you don't want it to be lifting higher than your left hip. The foot can be higher, but the hip isn't rolling open. Bend your right knee, come up on your left toes, step or walk your right foot through between your hands. Exhale, left knee comes down to the mat. If your right knee's gone past your ankle, widen your stance. Squeeze your inner thighs together to keep knee over top of the ankle so it's not spinning out to the side. Left palm can plant. Floor, block, book, whatever feels good. Keep squeezing inner thighs together so the legs are locked in. Inhale, little twist from the very base of the spine, so the torso is facing over to the right. Right arm reaches up. You can keep your gaze to the side. You can look up to your palm. Exhale, float it back down. So the motion's coming just from the waist. Inhale to twist. Exhale to come back down. One more. Inhale to twist. Exhale to come back down. Lift your left knee off the mat. Before the hands come off the mat, squeeze your inner thighs together. Pull your belly button in. Below, above, both sides, all around the belly. Corset it in. Take your time. Inhale, come up, high lunge. Keep squeezing inner thighs together. We're going to challenge the balance here. On your exhale, elbows come in at the waist, left knee bends. Hover, hover. Little lunge. Inhale, pick up both knees straight. Exhale, come back down. As you're moving, can you keep squeezing the inner thighs together? Core is pulling in. Help with the balance to keep you from wobbling side to side and front to back. So you're lunging straight down and up. Last one. We're coming back, high lunge. Sorry if the audio is still cutting out. We'll have to figure it out. Hopefully you can follow along with what I'm actually doing. Beginning to transfer your weight to your right foot. Walk your left foot in and lengthen. We're setting up for warrior three, but before the left foot even comes off the mat, we want to find some balance again. Grounding down through the right foot. Soften the right knee. Draw the energy up. Hands reaching up above, or they can reach down by your sides. You're stretching through the crown of your head and back through your left foot. So reaching in opposite directions. You can stay there or beginning to bow from the waist. Keep reaching in opposite directions. If you fall out, that's okay. Come back again. One more breath. Inhale, come all the way back up. Left foot is gonna lift. Single leg Tadasana. Pull the belly button in. Left hand comes to your knee. Standing hand to knee. Really pull the core in. Find your drishti, your spot that's not gonna move. Standing hand to knee, or you can peace finger the left toe with the left fingers and begin to kick out. But noticing what that does to the spine. If you kick out and the spine goes with it, soften the knee, bring the spine back up in alignment. One more breath wherever you're at. And release. Left foot comes down with control. And then take your wiggles. Whew, beautiful. You fell out or not, be proud of whatever you did. So we're beginning in tree again. So transferring the weight to your left foot. Ground down, all four corners. Soften the knee, draw the energy up. Core is pulling in, coming up onto the right toes. Hands begin at heart center. Open your right knee, right hip. Feel how that feels with the toe on the floor. You can stay there. You can lift the foot. Below the knee, above the knee. Test the waters. You can keep hands at heart center. They can reach up above. They can move side to side. Again, if anything makes you fall out, just come back to where you feel solid. One more breath. And exhale, hands come down through heart center. Right knee comes back in line with your right hip and release. Right foot controls all the way down so you're not falling out, even the release. Back to your chair. Step the feet underneath the hips, shift the weight back to the heels. Hands begin at heart center, tailbone back, tailbone down. Lengthen the low back. Balance out core and low back. So it's not just the core and the low back's arching. Then decide where are the hands. Your choice. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, sit just a little bit lower. Inhale, come all the way back up. Exhale, bow from the waist. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, reach back down, deep bend in your knees, plant your hands, step your feet back, top of your plank. Your choice, where you're going. We're meeting together in down dog, other side. Lift your left leg this time, noticing how the left hip is feeling. Balancing out, Left hip is the same level as your right hip, so it's not rolling open to the side. Bend your left knee, come up on your right toes, step or walk your left foot through between your hands. Exhale, right knee comes down to the mat. Left knee stays over your ankle. We're finding that twist again. Right palm plants, block or mat. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Inhale to twist. Exhale, come back down. Where's the movement happening? Are the legs moving? Should be coming just from the torso. Inhale to twist. Exhale to come back down. Right knee comes off the mat. Inner thighs, core engages. Take your time. Inhale, come up other side. High lunge. Different side. You can choose whether to take movement, whether to be still, or maybe the knee doesn't go quite as far to the floor this time. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, lunge down, elbows at the waist. Right knee hovers. Maybe it's just a teeny tiny hover. Doesn't have to be all the way down. Inhale, come back up, both legs straighten. Exhale, come back down. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lunge. And we're meeting back together. Lunge. Transfer your weight to your left foot, really grounding it down. Pull the core in, walk the right foot in. We're setting up warrior three other side. So lengthening first. Come out of the knee, out of the hips. Lift, 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 lift. Arms can come up overhead. They can reach back behind you. Maybe you float the toe. Maybe you don't. Maybe you bow. Maybe you don't. Take your time. Test the waters. Try a little bit first. And then if it feels okay, try a little bit more. Taking it wherever you're comfortable. And if you fall out, it's not a big deal. Come back again. Find your length. We're only here for one more breath. Inhale, come back up. Right foot lifts. And exhale, come back down. Right hand to knee. Ground down. Pull out of the hip. Hand to knee, hand to foot, your choice. One more breath. And release with control. Right foot comes back down. Beautiful work. Take some movement. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to bow. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, reach back down, deep bend in your knees, plant your hands, step your feet back. Your choice, take a flow. Skip it, do something else. Maybe you go straight to down dog. Whatever feels good in your body. We're meeting together in down dog. Really finding some balance in both palms and both toes. On your next exhale, bend your knees, shift your weight forward. Knees are gonna hover, hovering tabletop. Exhale, lift back, down dog. Inhale, shift forward, hovering tabletop. Shoulders over your wrist, or all four corners down, keep them there. All four corners are still down. Shift back, down dog. One more time. Inhale, shift forward, hovering table. Exhale, shift back, down dog. Really making some length this time with the palms, so pressing down into the mat. Making some space for the left hand to move back. Now, as this happens, your tendency is gonna be to rock everything to the right. You wanna keep the balance in the back 2 feet. That's what we're working on right here. So really pulling the core in, grounding down even a little bit more in your left foot or toes. Left palm begins to walk back. Maybe it reaches back towards your right shin, your right ankle. If you can make a connection, then maybe try your twist, twisted down dog. Keep pressing with the right palm. And release, left palm comes back to its spot. Did you feel a transfer of weight? Or were things balanced still in your feet? So just noticing what you're feeling. Exhale, knees come down to the mat. Palms walk out in front of you. Keep the hips lifted, puppy dog. So we're taking some weight off of the wrists, but still finding the stretch, just like in our down dog. Palms come back underneath your shoulders. Keep the toes curled. Lift back, down dog. Inhale, shift to the top of your plank, shoulders over your wrists. You can take it down to your knees or down, or keep it up on your toes. But find that long line. The hips aren't lifted up. Hips are in line with your shoulders, with your crown. Straight line all the way from crown to heel or crown to knee. Shift your weight to the left forearm. Maybe you're shifting it to the left knee or the left toe. If you're right-handed, you may take the left knee down. You may cross the right foot over for a little bit wider of a base. But notice how the left side feels, really pulling up with the left core strength, so it's not just the left arm. Right arm lifts, side plank. You've got it. It's okay if you're shaking, especially if you're right-handed. And release. Right palm comes down, knees come down, press back, child's pose, knees apart, and spider walk both your hands to the right. Push your hips back to the left. So you're stretching out your left side body that you just worked. Inhale back to center. Exhale, melt in. Inhale, come up tabletop. Curl your toes, hips up and back. Down dog. Deep bend in your knees, look between your hands. Make your way to the top of your mat. Exhale, reach down through your crown. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, reach back down. Belly button to spine. Inhale, reverse, come up. And exhale, hands down through heart center. You can let go for just a moment, maybe take some wiggles. Then re-engage, belly button pulls into spine. Inhale to lengthen, keep the length. Exhale, bow from the waist. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, reach back down, deep bend in your knees, plant your hands, top of your plank. You know where we're going, your choice. Switch it up, maybe do something different. Meeting back together in down dog. We're going back to the floating tabletop, so balance both palms. Inhale, shift forward, and knees come down. Exhale, shift back, hips reach back. Just one more. And then pressing really hard with the left palm, grounding down through the right foot or the right toes. Beginning to walk the right hand back. Is the balance staying in the feet? Maybe the hand stops. Maybe it reaches back for the left shin, the left ankle. If you can make your connection with your exhale, find your twist. Looking underneath your left armpit, twist to down dog, other side. On your next exhale, release. Is the balance staying the same the whole time? Beautiful. Exhale, knees come back down. Crown's gonna come down and hands are gonna reach back. So it's a puppy dog, but you're taking all the weight off the wrists, off the shoulders. You're kind of flipping things literally on their heads. Hands come back out in front of you. Hands underneath your shoulders, press up, tabletop, curl your toes, hips up and back, down dog. Inhale, shift forward, top of your plank again, knees or toes. You can come down to the knees, that's okay. Core's pulling in. We're shifting over to your right side plank. So shifting the weight to the right palm, right knee, or right toe. Take your option. Maybe the right knee comes down. Maybe the left foot crosses over. Left arm reaches up. Lift, lift, lift with the right side. One more breath. And exhale, left palm comes back down, knees come down, press back, child's pose, and spider walk your hands to the left. Push your hips back to the right. You guys are doing amazing. Hopefully my audio's not cutting in and out and in and out. If it is, there's your challenge. Your challenge to stay balanced as I am going unbalanced in and out with my vocals. Inhale back to center. And exhale, melt in. Inhale, come up, tabletop. Curl your toes, hips up and back, down dog. Lift your right leg, three-legged dog. Woo. Keeping the balance, this time in the palms. Bend your right knee and reach your right foot back to the left. So the opening, the twist is happening in the hips and not the armpits. So you're not letting the whole torso twist. It's just the hips. Big circle with the knee. Reverse your direction. Keep your right knee bent, but realign, rebalance right hip with left hip. Come up on your left toes. Step or walk your right foot through between your hands. Left heel down, left toes out. Inhale, come up, warrior. Right kneecaps working towards your right pinky toe. Hips are down, so they're not sticking back behind you. We're gonna play a little tug of war here. Unbalancing things first. So tug forward, inhale. Feel how the right thigh takes a little bit more of the weight. Back through center, exhale. Feel the left thigh take a little bit more of the weight. 2 more times. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, shift back. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, shift back. Now find your balance. You're floating right above the hip points. Both thighs are working equally. Pull the mat together. Make the legs nice and solid. Then tug forward. Right elbow comes to your knee. You're just balancing there. You're not dumping all the weight. Left arm lifts, side angle. Exhale, overhead, stretch whole left side body. Extended side angle. Keep your right knee where it is. Inhale, come up, drop your left, reach back with your right, reverse your warrior. So you're changing the balance of the torso, but keeping the balance in the legs. Exhale, extended. Inhale, extended, excuse me. Exhale, come back up, reverse. Back to warrior 2. Straighten your right knee. Tug front. Hands come to your shoulders. Elbows should be in line with your shoulders, so they're opening up, they're not in front of you. Spinning down, left elbow's gonna reach up towards the ceiling, right elbow down. Then release the hands. That's gonna keep the left shoulder stacked on top of the right. Don't worry how far down the right hand is. You're as far as you can go, just to the edge, but not pressing. Maybe the hand comes to the shin, to a block, ankle, maybe it's floating. Inhale, come back up. The right knee. We're gonna head to a balance posture here to half moon. So you may need a block, you may need a book, you may take it to the or something. So we're coming back to warrior 2. Tug forward. Right palm is floating where it's gonna land. So either you're touching a wall, you're gonna head to the floor, to a block, to a book. Left hand comes to your hip, so left hip stays stacked on top of the right. Begin to walk your left foot in and the right palm's coming down, grounding down. So grounding down palm, grounding down right foot. Then begin to lift the left foot. Left hip stays open, up on top of the right hip. Really pull the belly button in. Left palm can stay to your hip. Left hand can float. You can keep your gaze down. You can take it to the left. One more breath. Even if you've fallen out, come back. Try it again. And release. Left foot comes back down. Warrior 2. Woo! Come back up. High lunge. Swan dive. Frame your right foot. Oh my goodness. Plank on your knees. Left knee comes down. Control your right knee or right toe back to your plank. Maybe a single leg plank. Your choice where you're going. We're meeting together in down dog. Other side. Keeping the balance in the palms. Both armpits are equal heights right now. Keeping the hip, keeping the opening coming in the hips, left leg lifts. Bend your left knee. Left foot reaches back to the right. Opening's coming just in the hips, not the left armpit. Big hip opener. Draw a big circle with your left knee. Reverse your direction. Stay up on your right toes. Left knee stays bent. Realign left hip with right hip. Come up on the right toes. Step or walk your left foot through between your hands. Right heel down, right toes out. We're coming up, warrior 2, other side. Inhale, come up. Just noticing how this side feels. Is a little bit harder to get your left knee towards your left pinky toe than it was for the right side. Just noticing all of those things. Whew, I'm really working up a sweat. How are you guys doing? We're gonna take that tug of war again. So switching the balance. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, shift back. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, shift back. One more. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, shift back. And then find your balance right over the hips. Tug forward. Left elbow comes to your knee. Side angle. Right arm lifts. Exhale, overhead. Stretch. Whole right side body so the arm's not just kind of reaching. Everything is active. Left knee. Keep it where it is. Inhale, come up. Reverse. Exhale, come down. Extended. Inhale, come up. Reverse. And back to warrior two. Straighten your knee. Tug front. Triangle other side. Hands come to your shoulders. Elbows are opened. Spinning down. Right elbow towards the ceiling. Left elbow down. Then the hands can open up. It's up to you where the left hand stays, but you're along this line and not this line. One more breath. Inhale, come back up, bend your left knee. We're coming back to half moon, other side. So right hand comes to your hip, left arm tugs forward. Begin to walk your right foot in. Left palm, left foot is grounding down. Right foot lifts. Right hip is opening up, stacked on top of the left. Right arm can stay with your hip. You can lift it. You can keep your gaze down. You can take it to the right. You can fall out if you need to. That's okay. But really finding your edge. One more breath. You guys are amazing. And coming back, warrior two. Spin on the back right toes, come up, high lunge. And swan dive over your left foot. Whoo, control. Left knee, left toe, back to your plank. Single leg plank. Your version. We're meeting back together in down dog. Deep bend in your knees, look between your hands, make your way to the top of your mat. Exhale, reach down through your crown. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, reach back down. Belly button to spine. Inhale, reverse, come up. And exhale, hands down through heart center. Oh, beautiful. You're gonna step your feet apart. Toes are pointed towards the two side corners of your mat. The ankles are wider than the hips. So if you've got a really narrow stance, widen your stance. Hands are gonna come to heart center. We're having a seat. Tailbone is going straight down. If you're squatting, we're coming into garland, malasana, and the heels begin to lift. Maybe get a block and sit on the block. Maybe just take some motion, rocking side to side. But we're getting the hips down. This is a great one to really practice, especially if you garden. Instead of sitting, maybe do your gardening down like this. Really opening up the hips, finding balance, all four corners, both feet. I'm going to be doing a tutorial this next week. It'll air next Monday, looking at some of the modifications for garland. So if this pose is uncomfortable for you, make sure to check that out. We're here for one more breath. Then hands are going to come back behind you. Toe, heel your feet back in and have a seat. Deep bend is still in your knees. Hands come right by your hips. Lift with the torso. We're setting up boat, Navasana. Bend your elbows, lean back. Long line, hip to crown. So spine's not curling, core's not letting go. Everything's pulling in. Low back, core's working together. Your choice, hands down. Hands can reach. Toes down, toes can lift, knees can be bent, knees can be straight, but you're keeping this long line. One more breath, stretch, 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 stretch. And toes come down, hands come down. Stretch for the back, stretch for the hips, feet come together. Inhale, lift the torso, grabbing the front of the toes, letting gravity open the knees. Maybe you stay there. Maybe you reach the heart forward for a deeper inner thigh stretch, hip stretch. Inhale, come back up. Knees come together. Ankles cross. Hands come out in front of you. We're back to our tabletop. We're setting up bird dog, so really finding balance now in the sides of the body. We worked front and back with our down dogs and our twisted down dogs and hip openers. We're doing side to side now, so core pulls in, pressing down into the mat. Left foot's gonna reach back behind you. Toe or heel in line with your hip, so it's not higher than your hip. It's straight in line. Now, if that's enough, stop there. If you want to take a little bit more, maybe test the waters. Right palm's going to reach forward, but can you keep the balance and not rock all the way over to the left palm? Stretch in opposite directions. Right side body's going forward, left side body's going back. Keep stretching, stretching, stretching. A little bit more challenge for the balance. Right palm can go to the right, left foot can go to the left. If you don't have something to kick, I'm gonna do it with my knee here. Inhale back to center. Exhale, right foot to the right. Sorry, right palm to the right, left foot to the left, or knee if you're kicking a wall. Inhale back to center. And release, right palm down, left knee down. Good work, take some movement through the hips, other side. Core pulls in, right foot reaches back. Balanced in both hips, you're not rocking over to the left knee. Maybe challenge through the palms, left palm reaching forward. Balanced through the center and not rocking to the right palm. Keep stretching, stretching, stretching. On your next exhale, left palm to the left, right foot to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, open up. Inhale back to center. And release, right knee down, left palm down. You're gonna step your right foot outside of both your hands. We're setting up lizard lunge. Walk your left knee back, stretching the hip flexors front and back. You can stay on the palms. You can turn the toes out. You can widen your stance. You can come down to the forearms. But knee is stacked on top of the ankle. It's not rocking over to the side and opening the hip up to the side. We're going front and back with the hips. Holding here for a couple rounds of breath. Noticing how this hip feels. Is this your hip that opens up more? Is it your tighter hip? Can you be balanced in the way that you approach both sides, just finding each side's edge instead of making them be identical in their extent of pose? One more breath here, lizard lunge. Then coming back up to the palms if you're not there already. Toe heel your right foot all the way over to the left. We're setting up seated pigeon. If seated pigeon is not your cup of tea, you can flip it on its back. If you're in a seat, balance through the hips. If you've rocked way over to the right, sit on a blanket, a block, towel, so you're propping up the right hip. If the hips are already square, maybe find some edge, a little bit more of an edge, walking the right shin forward. And once you've found your edge, inhale to lengthen. Exhale, reach the heart forward. So you're stretching out, low back, maybe feeling into the right glute, and come down forearms, two fists underneath the forehead. Palms can come out. But just balancing through the right hip and then releasing. So letting go, kneecaps, glutes. Getting the right hip to open up to the side this time. Finding some counterbalance to our lizard. One more breath. Coming back up to the palms. Tuck the left toes. Press into the palms and the left toes. Coming back to your tabletop. Maybe taking some movement through the hips if things feel a little tight there. And we're setting up lizard, other side. Step your left foot to the outside of both your hands. Walk your right knee back. Different side, different hip. Balance it out. Don't force it. Maybe you stay on the palms, maybe you widen the stance. If you notice, I'm using a block on this side and I didn't on the other. This is my hip front and back that's a little bit tighter. So I'm being careful to find the edge for this side. Come back up to the palms. Toe heel the left foot over to the right or take it to its back. Reclining pigeon, left ankle over your right knee. Do you need a block underneath the left hip? Do you need to walk the left shin forward? Different side. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, reach the heart forward, coming down again. Let your pigeon sleep. Forearms, two fists, palms out. Really breathing in to the left hip opening up this time. Softening the knees. One more breath here. And coming back up to the palms. Rock way over to the left hip. Right leg is going to come out and around. You're going to grab a block or a pillow or something you can place behind you. We're going to set up for a half hero here. So you may need this, you may not. It's good to have it here, but you may not. So we're going to flip other side. Right shin's going to stay in line with the top of your mat. You're rolling over the right hip. Left knee coming to the inside of the right foot. And the left toes, I'll move forward here, are in line with the ankle. They're not pointed out to the side. So the left hip stays lifted. Palms are coming back behind you, fingers in towards your glutes. We're coming into a half hero pose, stretching out the thighs. We want to balance all the stretching we did with the hamstrings and balance it out with the thighs. So you might stop there. That might be deep enough. You might come down to your forearms. You might go down to your back. You might be at a spot where you need a block under the upper part of your back. But whatever you need, you're finding your edge for this side. The knees down. If the knees begin to pop up, you know you've gone a little bit too far. You need to come back to a different version. So the knees stay connected down. They pop up because down, the thighs are pulling on them. And if they're too tight, they're going to lift the knees. Sending the breath all the way down into the left thigh, the left hip, the left psoas. Feeling everything lengthen. It's letting go instead of stretching, pushing. So really change that mental image. Instead of pulling with that muscle, it's just letting go to lengthen. One more breath wherever you're at. Then coming back up. If you're all the way on your back, use your elbows to press back up. We're going to flip to the other side. So the left foot comes out. Right foot's going to come back, rolling onto your left hip. Left shin in top with the line, top of your mat. Right knee inside the foot. Right toes in line with your ankle. Fingers pointed back towards your glutes. You might stay there. Forearms, block or pillow, or all down to your back. Tailbone is tucking under. So if you have some extra fluff, you might have to get down underneath you so it's not keeping you lifted like a prop. I always have to remember to tell myself to tuck the tailbone there. Breathing into the right thigh, the right hip, the right psoas, feeling those muscles let go and lengthen. Then coming back up. Rock way over to the left hip. Right foot's gonna come out, left foot's gonna come out. And you're gonna lower yourself all the way down to your back. We're setting up bridge. Ankles underneath your knees, knees as wide as your hips. Gaze to the ceiling, shoulders are down, hands by your side. So the shoulders aren't rolling up, everything's just relaxing down. Keeping knees in line with hips, toes, everything here is aligned so they're not opening up one way or coming in. Inhale, lift your hips, lift your core. You can stop there, or it might feel good to lift your heart. Open it a little bit more, shoulders rolling underneath. Gaze still stays straight up, so you have a nice long neck. You're not looking down at your belly or your knees. Keep squeezing the imaginary block between your knees, or maybe you put a real block there or a pillow or something if you have a tendency to let the knees open up. One more breath. And release. Come down one vertebrae at a time. So really articulate the spine all the way down. It's going to go long. Right knee bends. Grab right below the right kneecap. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, pull it in, compressing the right side belly. So the knee actually goes a little bit to the side, so it's not directly to the center. It's opening up just a little bit to the side. Belly is soft, so you feel that natural arch in your low back. And release, right leg goes long, bend your left knee, grab right below the left kneecap, inhale to prepare, exhale, pull it in, compress the left side belly. Natural little arch is still happening in your low back, so it's not pressing into the mat. This time, right hand's gonna stay with your left knee. Left palm's gonna open to the side, or maybe you cactus the arm. Left elbow, shoulder, ground it down. With your exhale, left knee's gonna go to the right, right hip's gonna walk underneath you to the left. So it's becoming a belly twist and not a hip twist. So the hips are lining up with the spine and they're not way over to one side or the other. Opening up, big belly twist. You can stay here, or you've got a couple of different options. I'm going to give you an option for something called cat tail. If you want a little glute stretch, peace finger the left toe with the right fingers and kick out the foot. And then maybe another little thigh stretch on the right leg, bend your right knee, grab the right foot with the left palm. If you're taking both of those options, you're in cat tail. And then we're releasing the same way. So straightening the right leg, bending the left, and coming back to center. Left leg goes long, other side. Right knee bends, left hand stays with your right knee, right palm opens to the side, or you can cactus. As your right knee goes to the left, left hip walks underneath you to the right. You have the options again. You can kick out the right leg. I don't really have the option here. You can bend the left and grab the foot, but the shoulder is staying down. If you're grabbing the foot and the shoulder is coming up, you're not allowing the body to twist, so maybe not taking that option. If you've bent the left knee, straighten the leg. If you've straightened the right leg, bend it. Coming back to center. Right knee stays over your belly, left knee comes up to meet it, and both feet reach up towards the ceiling, toes pointing back behind you. We're setting up here waterfall. All day long, gravity is pulling down hip to toe or hip to heel. We want to balance things out and kind of counterbalance the gravity. That's why inversions are so fabulous. If you have anything you can hang up on upside down on, just to take some of the effects of gravity pulling down with some counterbalance. And then beginning to bend the knees. Feet are going to come either down to the mat. You can extend them if the low back's a little talkative. Knees together, feet apart. The hips need some more, feet together, knees apart. But arms out to the side. It's up to you where you're landing. Close your eyes. And we're spending a few moments here finding some balance in the body. So letting go through the forehead, through the eyes, the jaw, softening the shoulders, the elbows and fingers, feeling the weight of the torso, the upper back, middle back, lower back, releasing the hips, glutes, softening through the thighs, the hamstrings, tops of the knees, the backs of the knees, shins, calves, ankles and toes, just everything softening. And then I have a poem I want to read to you while you're here in Shavasana. This is about balance. This is by Rachel Brathen. Balance is the key in everything you do. Dance all night long and practice yoga the next day. Drink wine, but don't forget your green juice. Eat chocolate when your heart wants it, and kale salad when your body needs it. Wear high heels on Saturday and walk barefoot on Sunday. Live high and low. Move and stay still. Embrace all sides of who you are. Be brave, bold, spontaneous, and loud, and let that complement your abilities to find silence, patience, modesty, and peace. Aim for balance. Make your own rules and follow your own path. And don't let anybody tell you how to live according to theirs. So I know that this time at our homes might be a time where you feel very unbalanced. Just doing what you can to find balance in the body. Even though that you're at home right now, you might still feel just as busy, or that you have to make yourself busy. We're going to spend some time here tonight just still, listening to how our body and breathing, and how they can be beautiful in each of their own ways.
You say, take me on a treasure hunt. I long for something new. Have you heard the fairies when they sing and dance? Oh, I wish it was me every night. When I close my eyes, I see beauty lives in me. I know I don't yet know it, so I trust you when you say that beauty lives in me too. Later it comes later, dear, for many of us. trust you when you say that beauty lives in me too. It's gonna take some time to get there. I don't care, I don't care. I'm in for the fight. It's gonna take some time, but I know that beauty lives in me. I know I don't yet know it, so I trust you when you say that beauty lives in me too. Beauty lives in me. I know I don't yet know it, so I trust you when you say that beauty lives in me too.
Beginning to deepen your inhale and exhale. Sending movement to your fingers and toes. On your next inhale, arms reach up overhead on the ground above you. Big stretch apart. Hands back down by your sides. Bend your knees and roll over onto one side or the other. Using your hand to press yourself back up to a seated position, opening up the eyes, feeling a little bit more balanced in your body, in your mind, in your spirit. Inhale, arms reach up overhead, sealing in our time together. And exhale, hands come down through heart center. Grateful to yourself for your yeses. Grateful to yourself for your no's, balancing out those yeses and no's. Thank you so much for joining me tonight.